explanation if you don't care.
Okay.
With a couple of things just to make sure.
I know Chris is coming, so, there he is, there you go.
You made one.
Appreciate it. Yeah. No comments. Yeah.
Jeff, who are we having to put implications?
I'll do both of them.
Okay, thank you.
Raymond, they getting ready to take the orange fence down?
I hope.
Yeah, I bet you get back on that track. I started just go ahead and climb the fence.
Yeah, well, you can walk it right now, but it's just officially not ready yet.
Yeah.
They've got a few more touch-up spots they got to.
I seen they moved their equipment, so.
Yeah, it's come along.
Funny, a fence cutting ceremony.
Yeah.
It's already cut in some spots.
Well, I think some people have already done it.
It wasn't me.
Unceremoniously.
It wasn't me that did it, but it made me think, you know, I could go right through there, somebody's already cut fence. But I didn't. They thought you wimped out on us. Had enough.
I realize not how my glasses, this is gonna be a very painful.
You made it. Sure.
There you go. Air suit. Phone.
You got everything ready, Kevin, on your end?
Yes, sir.
That one says 2, that one says 1:59, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Special call meeting, if you'd stand, I'm gonna lead us in word of prayer and then pledge. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the beautiful day you blessed us with, the warm weather, and just thank you for many, many blessings that you bestow upon us and the gift of another day that we can live and enjoy the beautiful things you've allowed us to enjoy. Thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Pray that you be with the minutes of this meeting. Help us to be cooperative and to get things accomplished. Thank you for those that serve on city council, those are our staff. Thank you for all those that helped put this together. Give us clarity and help us to make good decisions. We ask in Christ's name. Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. As we call this special call meeting to order, just a reminder that we can only discuss things on the agenda for today, which is the charter change. We can't bring up any other new business, vote on any other items. That being said, I'll turn it over to our city manager to get things off.
Yes, sir. So, a couple of quick points, things maybe that you were wondering about or need to know. This meeting, as the mayor said, is about the charter. This is not a rushed meeting. We've been working with Margaret and MTAS. Margaret Norris is our MTAS representative. We asked her to start reviewing the charter back in November, December timeframe. We've kicked some things back and forth around it. The mayor asked Representative Russell if we wanted to make changes to the charter this year, when he would have to have it. And he needed it before the end of this month. So we went ahead and set this meeting up. It is not required that we make changes. And so if we don't get through it, we're not pressing you to make a change or to do things. We just we knew there was some things in it that need to be looked at. You all had some things you wanted to talk about. So it's not a last ditch effort. We were trying to get it through MTAS's legal department and some of those. And so we wanted to have this meeting so you all could take action if you wanted to. There are several places that Margaret will talk about that are just language cleanup, old English language where where MTAS and Margaret are recommending we make just wording changes. And then there are several things that just address specific laws by number that may not be law anymore or may be gonna change. So she's gonna recommend changing those things to just reference Tennessee code. So if you all are good with those changes, we don't have to spend a lot of time on necessarily those, and there's some more meatier things that y'all probably will do, but just so you all were aware, some of the changes are strictly just language cleanup and not big things. So those were just a couple of quick explanations we wanted to give. This is a meeting that you all can make motions and vote on, or you're able to defer to the council meeting. We do not have the resolution for the actual amendment. That would have to come back to the council meeting in a week and a half.
Okay.
So I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, as we all know, we've talked about the charter for several years, as far as just, it's kind of like the King James Version and the NIV and, the these and thous and therefores and all that. So a lot of that's in here, and some dates, some election stuff has changed. So there's a lot of clerical things in there. And then there's, as Manager Goins said, there's some meatier things in there that might take more discussion and more decision making. We can say, we're not gonna do that yet, we'll leave that in there and we'll maybe address it the next time or something. Just depends on, the pleasure of the council. So, want to thank Margaret. Margaret was, when I first got on council, Margaret was our representative MTAS, and so glad that we're back under her umbrella now. So, Margaret, we're gonna turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. I'm excited too, and so today's my 25th anniversary with MTAS.
Congratulations.
So it's like, what a great day, and I get to share it with you all. So I am thrilled to be back in consulting. I did spend 8 years as the executive director for MTAS. Before MTAS, I worked for 4 cities in 3 different states. I've been an intern a few times. One of those was actually with MTAS. I've been a finance director, I've been a city manager, so I've been in local government my entire professional career. So just for those of you who don't know me, just a little bit of a background. I've got bachelor's degrees in psychology and Spanish and a master's in public administration. So as I'm giving you a lot of recommendations, it's coming with a lot of history behind it and suggestions. So that's who I am. I'm so excited to be here. And before I really dig into it, I just wanted to personally say thank you. You never hear that enough doing the jobs that you do. You don't ever hear it enough. And just please know that I acknowledge and appreciate the sacrifices that you all make every day to serve this community, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So with that, let's talk about your charter. So cities live and die by the state legislature. So let's just talk about the legislative process. So cities said, yes, Loudon is a city, it exists, and here's how it exists, and that's through your charter. So think about it as your bylaws. To change the charter, your private act charter, it takes a resolution. That's what Kevin was mentioning. So it takes a resolution, and you're asking the state representative and senator to run it through the General Assembly on your behalf. They approve it. It comes back, and you have to adopt it by a 2/3 vote. Or you can send it to a referendum. That's expensive. I wouldn't recommend it. I suggest you go the 2/3 vote. So when you're sending it out for approval, it would make sense that you'd have at least a 2/3 vote of approval. Otherwise, your senator and rep are gonna go, why am I gonna waste my time if they're not gonna approve it when it comes back? So that's just a brief explanation of the process. So as you're going through this, these are my suggestions, recommendations. This is your charter, this is your city. Agree, disagree, ask me questions, that's why I'm here. But we'll just go through, I'll give you my recommendations. I've run this charter by Melissa Ashburn as one of the MTAS attorneys. And in certain sections, if it's dealing with a particular topic, I run that by a subject matter expert on MTAS's staff. For example, human resources. I had a discussion with the HR consultant about some of the other issues. So I've gotten more than just my opinion. I've gotten some other reviews. So anyway, if you have questions about why you're recommending this, just ask me, I'll tell you. Legal counsel suggested it, and Melissa Ashburn also did recommend you get city attorney to review it too. So with that, we're just going to jump in.
Sure.
So the first comment that I had made, and Kevin had already mentioned, this was a specific TCA citation. So TCA changes, law changes, they add sections, they take sections away. The safer bet is just to say state law. And oftentimes your charter says general law, it's better to say specifically state law. So, you'll see that one come up throughout, and this is just one of those instances, we're just gonna say, you're gonna be in compliance with state law. So that was the first comment, and I didn't count how many I
It's
had.
pretty easy.
Do you all want to give me a head nod of accept?
I think so, as we go
Okay.
through.
Okay. So is everybody good with accepting that?
Yeah.
Thumbs up?
Check mark,
Yeah, check mark. All right.
Check mark on the second one.
Woo-hoo.
Same thing,
With basically, yeah, same thing.
basically same, just clean
It
it up.
says, it takes out general and says state law. And then different list of codes, which may not be relevant anymore. You know.
Yeah, I was working with another city on theirs, and I was going through and checking those citations, and it's like, oh, that citation doesn't exist anymore, it's been repealed, so. And before I would have always said, oh, it's fine, it's state law, just leave it in, but, after that experience, no, we better take that one
You'll see just that, because there's a number change. So are we accepting that as well, Margaret?
out. Yeah, that was just, I think I'd put in a hard return and it generated new numbering, so that was just a.
Track
that really
changes.
wasn't anything, yeah.
I hate track changes.
Yeah, I think it was to do a clean page break. I think that's what did that one. And then there's another one, yeah, state law was just to say state law.
Yeah, it's what we just talked about.
Yeah,
Y'all
you're
good with
gonna see
that?
that
Yep.
one several times.
Good with that.
Okay, this is one of those big items.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of that. So I mentioned, this is one of those sections I got one of the HR consultant to review this and the city attorney, and both agreed with my suggestion that you consider elimination of the civil service board. It's just an outdated form of operations. So civil service really came about, the turn of the century of the 1900s. Unions were coming about. This was pre all of these federal laws that protect and regulate staff that we have today. Civil Rights Act, Title VII, all of those titles really accomplish what you needed the Civil Service Board to do back in the day. So it's just an outdated form. If you want to have employee protections and hearings, you can build that into your personnel policy. You don't need to have it in your charter. So that's my recommendation. If you have any questions?
Absolutely not. That's a layer of protection for our employees, especially for
I
our
agree with
police. Absolutely not.
And like I said, you can build that into your personnel policy through your ordinance that you adopt. If you want to have additional protections, you can put that in an ordinance and still
That
give
can
that
be changed
protection.
too quick, the charter cannot.
You're right, it takes a lot to change a charter.
Yeah, just take 2 votes for an ordinance, you know. I'm fine, we have a civil service board,
Yeah.
you know, and they're laid out the way they're nominated and elected, and, you know, we appoint 2, and then, or we appoint 1, then the membership, I guess the employees appoint 1, and then
And they agree.
then they agree for another, so
Yeah.
it's a,
How often does it meet?
I think that this meet is needed.
It's needed.
When's the last time they met?
2 months ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's this year, or last
It's a
year.
case by case, sir.
Mhm.
When there's a suspension, a demotion, or termination, we bring them together.
One thing that I would suggest, and this would come from within, would be perimeters for the civil service and a rule of a chain, not a chain of command, but procedures. That's the only thing that I would recommend for them.
So there's a large section at the bottom of the charter, and because I'd suggested taking it out, I did not make all those changes. You will need to make some changes to that section if you want to keep it in there,
Right,
to make yourself compliant with federal laws as it is today.
right. So if you are inclined to keep the civil service system, then the entire civil service section of the charter that's coming up later on needs to be rewritten. It's all completely no longer in step with state law. So, you know.
I was looking at that looking at that civil service section and seeing what needs to be rewritten there.
Right.
I found beside what Kenny said, where I like the protection it provides.
And that's just another layer for the employees. I mean, and it can protect the city also. It really can for wrongful terminations.
Good thing.
Well, I would make the argument it could also open yourself up to some liability, because if you've got folks who are not HR professionals who don't understand all the federal laws, and actually federal laws are different in application between public sector and private sector. There are different applications, even though it's the same law, there are provisions for public and for private. And if you get people on there who don't understand that and don't know all the intricacies, then you could actually open yourself up to some liability, which is one of the reasons why I'd recommend taking that one out.
Which we almost
I would call
did in
that-
this last one.
And
We
I
had
would call that
we had to
winning the round.
re-meet.
This,
They didn't act properly and it got sent back and they had to re-evaluate and redo the case. We almost got sued, could have gotten sued, because they don't meet often enough and they don't know what they're doing necessarily.
I mean, we're currently, our civil service system is currently being sued for a termination. So,
They win that one.
but it's still, it's like Margaret was saying, it's another avenue that opens the city up to litigation when there's already federal and state laws that are built in to protect employees.
I didn't say it didn't need to be revamped, I just don't want you to leave it out of the charter.
Okay.
The revamps, if we keep it and revamp it with the recommendations, would it have avoided that lawsuit, or so what happened?
No, it still would have happened.
Good question.
If we would have gotten rid of it, would that lawsuit still have come about?
No, they would not, they would not have the same, cause of action.
Okay.
We can get sued anytime over anything. We are an employment at will state and we're one of the only cities. Is there anybody else you know that still has the
A civil
provision?
service board, the city of Knoxville does. There's one other city in my territory that does. Beyond that, I'm not aware, but vast majority do not. And again, it's an outdated method. There are reasons for it back in the day, but today I think you've got federal protections that.
What's the main protection that y'all are concerned about?
Gives another layer.
Layer for what?
Gives them, I guess, an opportunity to plead their case with the civil service board if they were, but like I say, if those people that make that decision are not qualified on.
You got a third party out there that's sitting there
That's
listening
not
to
one of us.
the situations, whether it be for or against, they make a determination.
Mainly on termination, is that the?
No, it is
If any,
any time loss, action. Not
Any-
write-ups, but any time loss action.
anything that you can have arbitrary,
If you're suspended.
we go toward that, to that board.
Not write-ups,
Okay.
time loss.
And how would it be different if we got rid of it and went with putting it in policy? How would the employee have that, I guess, recourse or?
So what you do, there's several different ways that you could do it, but you could make, the department head would do termination with an appeal to the city manager. That would be one way if you wanted to have an appeals process. If you do an appeals process, you're giving the employee property rights, which is what it sounds like you all want to have. State law doesn't automatically give that because it's an at-will state. But if you wanted to give property rights, you could by saying that you're gonna have to have a hearing, but it would be before, typically it'd be the city manager, if the city manager is not the one doing the terminations. That's how you could work that.
But you just took the impartial party out. The way it's set up now is 3 members, a city member, an employee member, and then those 2 pick one that's impartial. And it's worked for a long time.
I'm just trying to understand what is it work protect? I get terminations, you're saying time loss, what do you mean?
Suspensions.
Suspensions?
Yeah, you got 3 days off.
Okay.
It don't apply to the write-ups.
So I guess if they got 3 days off without pay, they could appeal, and if it went in their favor, they could get back pay.
Pretty much, 3 days.
And then, you said it met 2 months ago, what about before that, how often is it meeting?
Just when there's a case that brings it to their attention.
As needed.
Yeah,
So when was the last time before that?
probably 8 months prior to that.
Okay.
In
So
the past
it
5
meant-
years, yes, sir, in the past 5 years, we've had 4 hearings.
Okay.
And again, it's termination, suspension, or demotion. Those are the 3 categories.
Is it
Demotion.
limited to that?
Yes, sir.
So that's the only 3 things that can be brought to that board? Is it termination, demotion, or suspension?
Yes, sir.
And what employees are covered by civil service?
All employees except for the general manager.
Of course.
So, I'm looking at the alternative, so the alternative is what do you build into, I mean, it sounds like it's just a built-in appellate court, basically. How do you build in that appellate process for those 3 things? You said by just giving those 3 powers to the director and making the manager the appellate?
Right.
Okay, then boom, you've got 2 cities right there. This is to protect the employees because the employees vote on one of those members.
Yeah, one of them is their selection.
And then those 2,
And who are the current members?
Dickie Blankenship, I think.
Rick Moore
Yeah,
and
Dennis Keaton.
Dennis Keaton.
Yes.
So which one did the council elect?
I don't have the list in
Thought you
front of
guys
me.
were Rick.
Council's select,
Rick Moore.
Yeah, Rick Moore.
yeah,
So we elected
Rick
Rick.
Moore.
Rick Moore.
the
Dennis Keaton.
employees,
Keaton, Dennis Keaton.
Dennis Keaton.
Employees.
that's who they picked, and then those 2 picked Dickey?
Yeah.
And how often, does it say, is there a term on that, on how often we pick?
I believe it's 6 years and they are staggered.
They're staggered.
It's, yeah. And in order to get a representative for the employees, think about that, we've got how many employees for the city? And
Total from
150,
city to- yes,
200?
yeah, well, yeah, about-
The way we've done it before is when I was here, each department head would, write who you want down, they'd put it on a piece of paper, here's your choices, write down who you want, hand it in to me, and then it'd all be compiled, and I guess Jason say, okay, this is employee pick.
Okay.
That's how it was done last time, Jason.
All right, thank you, I think I understand now, thank you.
Okay.
So I guess we need to know how everybody feels about that one. Leave it like it is, and then update the civil service policy that we have that's in place.
Revamp, if they need training, they need training, but, yeah, let's leave it.
John, what do you think?
No, I have no problem with that, so to leave the board in existence, but update it based on what's gonna come later in chapter 12.
Yeah, Article 12 is where it's,
So,
Eric,
I think I agree.
Tim,
I agree, leave it.
okay.
I just had to, sorry for the time, I just had to understand what it was we're trying to accomplish.
It's,
And I understand your point.
it's
that-
a huge thing for the employees.
No, and I understand your point of putting an employee into the appellate process and not just having management in.
I'm
So
not-
I understand your point.
I'm not saying it always works right,
Employee representative,
but it's huge for the employees.
yeah. So no, but I understand what your point on that was. Okay.
The employees still have the court system if they disagree. I mean, this isn't a one and done.
Well, after the services, civil service, then the next step would been court, which would been circuit court. And then you go up, or chancery, then you go up from there.
Okay.
Okay, so we can move on to the next one.
Have my seats next.
So this next one is again, just,
Thumbs up.
trying to use a little bit more modern language.
Yeah. It said party served user. Think we all agree with that one?
I have no issue with anything on this page. It's all just cleaning language up.
And the next ones you'll see, I just said
Yeah,
state law and
state,
statute. I didn't even
state,
put comments in on those, I just made those changes.
So I'm good all the way to the start of Article 3. If anybody else-
Is everybody okay with the rest of the page?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yeah.
Okay. So make those changes.
On the next page, state law, same thing.
Yeah, go to the top of,
Yeah.
right before Article 3, change state law, it says again, make that change.
Green light.
Then we're at Article 3. I guess one question I had on section 1, it says here every 4th year, but it's every 2 years we have election now.
Okay,
Yeah, it says every 4th year, but that was changed when we staggered.
that's right, because you went to staggered.
Yeah.
Good catch, I did not get that one. There you go.
Where's that at?
Go up to the next section.
Section 1, every second year.
Middle line under
Yeah,
section
every
1.
second year. it should
Beginning
say.
in November 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. right
There you go.
Yeah.
Fourth, so it's 4th year, you wanna make that 2 years.
Every second year?
Yes.
Yeah, cause our seats are staggered now.
Mhm.
Used to, it could be the whole,
They can wipe the whole number.
Right.
I mean, everybody go.
Yeah.
November 2022 instead of 2010.
Yeah, and the year.
Well, that's when you made the change, you could leave that, it's historical, but,
That's when it, I guess when.
that's when you originally made the
Originally
change back in
started,
2010.
So you took out 4th, right? Yeah. Okay.
Everybody good with that?
And in section 2 there, again, it's just state again.
But that would change to every second year beginning in November, back when we went staggered, 22.
But she said you could
2010.
leave that because that's when it, I guess we first established.
Did they move the election from some other month to November?
July.
From July, yeah, so that's when it
Or
moved.
June,
There's July, I think.
because you took office July 4th, like 1st of July.
Yeah, because we moved it to be in line with the county, so we wouldn't have to have a separate election.
Okay.
All right. Then under section 3,
Section 2, y'all were good with general and state
yeah.
changing.
Yeah.
Then it was just,
I'm good with section 3.
yeah, I think you just added it needs to be certified. by the-
Yes, you
by
cannot
the
take
commission.
office until someone's been certified,
Right.
which may not meet those actual dates. So I'm just
Right.
trying to give yourself a little wiggle room there.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recommended change? And then I guess section 4 is,
So, the MTS attorney, because it's like I was reading this, like, what is this actually doing? Her recommendation was just actually delete this. This is covered under state law anyway. So my suggestion is take section 4 out completely based on the attorney's
I don't
recommendation.
even know what it's really telling us.
I agree.
It just says, if you cheat, that's not good.
No, if you get caught.
It's like, what is it telling me here?
I have no problem taking it out.
Yeah, everybody okay with that? Yeah, please speak up if you're, if you disagree with something. And this is, Article 4, is where we staggered the elections, so first time we went in explaining all that, Bobby staggered it, and I don't know that we need to explain all that again, that's what all that language was, so that.
Yeah.
And Lowell Russell took this, we had to take this charter change to
Right.
the legislature.
Yeah, and the last sentence says that after the November election, this section shall cease to exist. This is just.
Cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Ceasing its
Yeah.
existence.
I mean, there's no sense in leaving that in there again, because it's already staggered.
I do have a change I'd like to throw in here, or how about open for discussion? I'd like to propose that we do this the same way, county commission and school board, that we have a seat A and B for the 2 people being elected, as opposed to one group vote for 2. It would be a seat A and a seat B, vote for 1, who you want.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that now that it's staggered.
Yes. So I'd like to propose that we have a seat A and a B.
Well, let me give you a little bit of background on that. So,
You can tell me I can't do it.
pretty much.
That's what I thought out for discussion.
The state election laws changed. If you are following local news, City of Knoxville had to completely revamp their whole election procedure. And that was actually why the legislature, they didn't like the way Knoxville was doing it, so they said, you gotta change your election procedures. And I believe that process will raise some red flags at the state and say, no, that's not what we're trying to do. So,
Are we doing that for cities? Why not for county commission and school boards?
couldn't tell you that. There are a lot of things
Well,
the General
and-
Assembly does. I
So
don't-
they're saying that we can't have separate seats, we have to have a group election?
Right, so the issue was having, so in Knoxville, what they did was that you would have folks nominated from a district, but then it was an at-large voting on those districts.
So-
And that's really kind of the same thing that you're talking about, is that
Yeah.
you're gonna have, even though it's all at-large, you're still designating separate sections and,
We're not doing sections.
well, seats, A and B, it's really not that much different than
Zoning,
kind of, I mean, it is, but the MTS attorney said if you put that in there, she doesn't think that they're gonna approve your charter.
It's kind of like districts.
It is really kind of like districts, and the state was saying,
And we
that's not
don't
what we
really have a
want to do.
district within the city.
And there were several cities that had to change their charters because of that new state law, because they weren't in compliance with the new law.
And
So-
isn't the county based on whether you have A or B based on the population?
it is.
I'm not familiar with the
Yeah, I think that's why you have, and I don't know that we would have, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't know that we
Yeah,
have.
I don't see how that's considered districting if it's,
I can get your city attorney the legislation. Melissa Ashburn sent it to me. I'd be happy to forward it to you.
What's your comments, Chris?
I hadn't looked at it.
It's just the sentiment of
I
the
wouldn't want
General
anything
Assembly
to
right
hold
now.
it
They
up,
didn't.
you know, that they would,
We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We need it to-
what's that side of the table saying?
I don't know if I mind the idea of having seat A and B. I don't 100% grasp, because we're not necessarily making it districts. Yeah, I don't know, we'll try to wrap my head around it.
I do too, I don't understand.
If the state's not gonna adapt to the way that we're thinking here as far as A and B, then it's probably best you not change it.
I'm just trying to figure, what's the state trying to prevent? What are they worried about?
I don't know what their issue was with the Knoxville. I don't know, because you had some segregation, but then it was all at
Yeah.
large. I think it
But
was,
see, Knoxville's different from what we're talking about.
they are.
Because
but
we're talking
the
about, they
state
have
changed-
districts, we don't have a district, we're just saying that instead of,
But by creating a seat, you're creating a district.
no,
You're
Yes.
designating, you're segregating, dividing, and at large, otherwise at
no,
large.
but
elections.
it's still at large. We're just saying instead of a pool that, hey, there's 8 people voting, pick the top 2.
Then you're gonna have 1 run unopposed and 7 run over here.
Well, that's fine, but it's still, it's
You're
not
separating.
making a district though.
So separate.
It's just, it's the
You're
same.
separating your elections, and that's really what, I think the gist of what the General Assembly was trying to
Well, they
correct.
could say staggering it is separating it too, creating a
what
district.
if somebody's running that I want to vote for that person, but, well, I guess we're not having, so I guess I could vote for either one in the city.
You can vote for both.
Right. Yeah, because you're not creating a geographical
No geographical, it's
change,
just,
it's still all city, it's still city. the
Because you
entire
can't do
city
that in
can vote.
county election. I can't vote for both county commissioners.
yeah, you can. So like,
Yeah, okay, I guess you can vote.
so
for
like
either.
Bill Deems and
But he's
Chase,
gotta, so he gotta select which one he runs against.
I'm talking about as a voter, I can vote for Chase, that's my district, and I can vote for Bill, he's also in my district. I can vote for both of them, there's no, I'm not segregated out that I'm no longer in Chase's district.
But it
It's
is
still
a
an
form of
at-large.
segregation.
No, it's not.
Does it matter, Chris, that it says in our charter that this will cease to exist, group A and B?
Well, no, because that was just talking about the staggering.
But it says after the November election, the
But I mean, we just,
designation will not exist.
but we just called it that because I mean, that was,
I mean, they let us do it then.
So, well, the other way to have done that, you would have said that the highest vote getters got this term and the lowest vote getters got that term, which is how I've seen a lot of
Yeah,
other
we
cities
talked
do
about
it.
that.
That was really just a method to get you on the staggered. It was a one-time, let's get you on the staggered schedule, and that's how you determine what the schedule was gonna be.
Yeah.
I'll get your attorney the legislation, and y'all can review it and decide what you wanna do with it.
Okay,
The
I don't wanna
recommendation
drop
from the
it
MTS
yet,
attorney was to leave it as it is.
because I said I don't wanna be conflated with what Knoxville did, because that's completely different than what we're talking about.
Okay, why do you want it?
Because so many people during the election, they get confused on how many they're voting for. Also, we have a lot of single shot voters. So if you look at the undervote where people say, well, I'm just gonna vote for Kenny, I'm not gonna vote for the other guy. People are voting one person anyway.
when they're elected to,
And
but
so
voting one
just
for
go ahead and have it like everything else in the county, that if you wanna run against me, because you don't, run against me and you can be unopposed, or vice versa. Instead of just doing it in a big pool.
No.
You know, have it where you have to defend your seat and your decisions.
Which you do anyway.
No, because like I said, if it's in a pool, they may, you know, vote and it'll split it up, and they may throw out the person they wanted in there because of the way the voting is.
So you're saying you want to get rid of the single shot, is what you want? Because that was the first thing you said.
Well, you have a lot of people that single shot.
Get rid of it.
It would get rid of it. That way people say, I want to vote for, I mean, the way it is right now in District 1 for county, I can go up and say, I want to vote for Chase Randolph. And over here I say, well, I don't want Bill Gaines, I want to vote against here. I don't have to do it in a pool. I can make a decision on who I want.
Okay, just like the last election, there was 5 of us that run for 2 seats. I didn't run against Eric, I ran for a seat. If I'd had to say which seat I wanted, you'd have to single someone out.
That's fine, that's politics.
I mean, if
You
that's
say,
what-
I want that seat,
If
and I'm
that's
going
what
to
you
run
want, they'll
against
come
that.
back and hurt you.
That's what the city, they tried to stay away from for years,
Yes, for
is
years.
that situation.
Well, I guess the best thing to do is send it to Chris, and then we need to just put a question mark on that one.
Yeah.
Y'all okay with that?
I would say no.
I mean, is everybody set no in it, or want more information, or?
I'm okay to review it, because like I said, I'm not 100% grasping what the state's saying as far as saying, no, you're segregating. I would like to review that a little bit more and look at it a little more, because to the single shot point, you know, you might be voting one, but you're electing 2. So, you know, and so you can be.
There's good and bad.
There's good and bad, yeah, there's good and bad, and that's what, I don't know one better than the other. At the end of the day, you still, you know, I don't know how much it moves the needle having 2 seats. But, yeah, I'm interested in looking at it.
Tim, what about you?
Say leave it.
Okay, I guess the best thing to do would be let Margaret send the stuff to Chris, and then we'll take that item up separately.
We can also reach out to some of the reps, and, cause like impact fees, some people have, but the legislature won't pass it anymore. That's
Oh,
what we
no.
felt last time, so
No,
we can
yeah.
find out if that's one of those dead on arrival things.
Yeah, if that's a showstopper, we need to know it.
We'll let y'all know that, plus Chris can review the legislation Margaret sends over.
Did you make a note of that
I
one?
made a note on here, where would you like that note on here?
I just need you to send me an email, remind me to
Okay.
have Melissa send that to Chris.
Okay, you got everything documented on that one? Next, and then section 2. No problem. No, I mean, basically it's just language there.
I got a question on section 2 with the, shall hold no other local or state elected public office. Is that like treasurer? You can't run for, or register of deeds or something like that as well?
Right.
Why is that a caveat?
All kinds of reasons that could be in there. It's not state law.
Right.
It's just personal preference that you want your elected officials to only be focused on this city.
Double dip.
And not be diluting your attention elsewhere.
Right.
There could be conflicts of interest if you're on city council and you're also on the county commission. There could be an issue that comes up that maybe what the county wants is not what the city wants, and that could put you in an odd position. State office, can you do both? Can you be a state representative and a city council member? Do you have the time to do that plus a full-time job? So
Right.
those might be some reasons why you had that in there before. My issue with this was you're saying any public office, does that mean you can't serve on the library board?
Right.
Or the beer board or the planning commission? Actually state law requires that you have an elected official serving on the planning commission. So I thought we'd just make it a little bit simpler and say it's a local or state elected position rather than just any other public office. So that would even preclude you from like a notary public is already was in there except for the exception,
So
but that's a
knocking that
public
out,
office.
yes. Okay, is it okay, Eric? Is that your
I'm
question?
not willing to die on the hill and really fight heavily, but I'd like to see that one moved, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not willing to, really sink my teeth in it and fight everybody, but if anybody else has the same opinion.
I'm just trying to understand what is it you're trying to,
There's nothing I'm trying to specifically do, I don't know if I agree that this specific position, you couldn't also hold a position of, like I said, Register of Deeds, or whatever, one of these, positions that are being elected now, whether it's, I kinda understand county commission and city council.
That wouldn't be good to be a city councilman and a county.
Yeah, I
commissioner.
don't think.
Another elected office.
Another elected office, one of these elected positions that are like like a full-time job. Like I said, I'm not necessarily willing to, die on that hill, so I'll be happy to move along. But, this is my opinion.
Okay, is everybody else okay with taking it out?
I'm good to the way,
Okay,
way
well, she's
she's
got a
recommended.
recommendation. Okay,
I'm good with that.
then down to section 4,
Good to go.
yeah,
That's just clean up.
yeah, it's just basically, we don't do that, it's not 7:30, it's not, so all that needs to be removed. Is everybody okay with that removal?
Yep.
Okay,
The problem with that whole page. Section 6, 7,
yeah, it's
and
just,
8.
basically, six is just taking out
I
the therefores and.
I just had a question, in 7, isn't the appointment of the vice mayor in December?
Yes,
Not
Oh,
November?
I did make that change, maybe I didn't get,
yeah, it is in December.
Okay, just checking.
that was not in an earlier version, but I did make that correction.
Where was that at?
Section 7.
Okay, I hadn't caught up to you yet.
Yep, right there.
That, yeah.
Yes, the
It
first of
originally had
December.
July, which was the old staggered
Yeah, yep.
dates. So you're saying it needs to be December, not November?
Yes.
That's, okay.
Everybody okay with that page?
I actually have some confusion on that myself, and I'm sorry, I didn't think about this ahead of time. I really have no voice here, but, your vice mayor, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but does it not mean that we should appoint the vice mayor every 2 years?
I've seen it work both ways. So it's the term of whoever that person is, whatever term of office is. So if you've got staggered terms, that vice mayor may extend beyond the current administration because they've got 4 years, but you just had an election and you've got 2 and 2.
So we may need to add language that says, that ends with that council member's term. So like, for example, if the mayor is elected on a 4-year and he appoints
Someone on
someone
a
also
2-year.
elected, or someone on a 2-year, then you would want it to end with that term, so it would essentially be every 2
Then you're
years.
always gonna be appointing
Yep.
with the frequency a vice mayor
Every 2 years. at
every
least.
2 years.
But on the flip side, I think it gives the mayor option that every 2 years, your council is changing.
Yeah.
And it may be looking at saying, okay, this councilman's been on the planning commission for 2 years. Let's move them over here. We've got new people. It might fit better. And it gives the mayor some flexibility on appointments to include vice mayor.
You can have it whichever
Because-
way you want.
Because if you do it, that means that on the 4-year term, that means only the people running in that cycle can only be the vice mayor and the other ones can't be.
Yeah, and it's the same way with utility board,
That's right.
and it needs to probably switch to 2 years.
Yeah, all that could
Yes.
fall in line together.
Yeah. So it gives the mayor a little flexibility of saying, hey, it's not just these people on this cycle that can be on the utility board or the vice mayor or other, because of the.
It's the 2 that's on the same cycle as the mayor's.
That's right. So I think it ought to be every, no, it doesn't mean that
I
they
think it
can't.
does
And
say-
it could work out
does
to
say
just
that.
continue on with the same.
That's right, it doesn't mean they can't say, well, I'm gonna keep the same person
Right,
on and on.
continue on.
But it gives the option.
I think the way this reads now is if there's a general city election every 2 years, then there's an appointment the first December after that election. So we would need to change this to make it say that the appointments are for the remainder of the person appointed's term.
That's kind of what Eric was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
because
just,
it,
so
you
if the, what you're saying is the remainder of the term is so if the vice mayor then becomes the mayor,
Was council
then
member
you
term.
elect somebody else to backfill that council member's position for the remainder of whatever term it was that they had. They're not talking anything about the term of the vice mayor. They're saying when the vice mayor becomes mayor,
Right.
you've got to backfill that position, and it's only gonna be for the remainder of that person's term.
Right, but I think that's what Eric was trying to
Yes, I
clarify,
think so.
is the appointment as vice mayor for 2 years, or is it for however long that person's term is?
I read that as 2 years.
First regular meeting after any.
Yes.
Well, the mayor can spell that out at the appointment and say, I'm appointing vice mayor for 2 years. But I say, I just don't want it that only people in a certain cycle
Yeah, it should.
would be eligible.
It should, because the other elections should have the opportunity to serve on those
Yeah.
same committees,
It might be,
positions.
every 2 years, they need a different face on different committees around.
Question too about when the election results are certified, is using the month of December, could that be an issue?
This is for the vice mayor that really wouldn't have, well, I guess it could, if the vice mayor actually, well, if the,
Well, they're not sworn into it.
yeah, they wouldn't be sworn in until after the results are certified, so you wouldn't be appointing someone as vice mayor if they hadn't been sworn
Sworn
in.
in, yeah, right, yeah.
So in other words, what I guess Melissa's saying is, instead of saying the first regular meeting in December, just the first regular meeting following,
Certified results.
Certified, yeah.
assuming the seat or certification.
Right,
So in case it's a delay to January,
right.
it's just saying, as soon as they're certified, at the next meeting, do this.
So just the same language from Article 3, Section 3.
Yeah.
Just
Sure, you can replicate that there.
Okay.
As long as you know what that means later.
It's gonna be close enough. I could tell you it's better if I could say it. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Butchered out.
Close.
Butchered out.
Use the dictionary.
We'll know
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
You misspelled it enough, we'll catch it.
He was saying something.
Yeah.
We'll know when we see it. I just keep
Okay,
saying.
we ready to move on from 7? Is it okay? I'm good. Everybody, okay? All right, section 9,
I'm good with 9 and 10, it's just verbiage you
yeah, it says majority, it just says 3, you know, that is.
Same
majority.
thing.
Yeah, same thing, maybe a little more.
A little more clear. I like
Yeah,
clarity.
little clearer to the person reading it.
Do we wanna consider, goodness, what am I thinking? So, if a member, the council member has to be absent, but a virtual vote, do we wanna consider allowing them a vote if they call into a meeting?
I don't know that state allows us to do
The
that.
state has changed their open meetings law a little bit, and they've got provisions in there that you can do that once or twice a year.
You can do it by phone or FaceTime.
As long as it is real-time interactive.
It has to be
They
real
can't be
time.
All the
email.
specifics are in the state statute.
It has to be real time. I've done it. It has to be real time and it has to be sitting right here, an iPad, looking at whoever, and it has to be live.
And there are only certain circumstances when
Do you
that's like if
reference
there's
that
a
code?
medical emergency in the family or if they've been deployed. I think those are the two,
It's a very narrow exception.
yes,
You can't just be on vacation.
right.
When I
So
done
we
it, I was
probably
a
wouldn't pay you
national at a school, and
adopt something other than
I
that.
done it, I was,
You was live.
FaceTimed in the meeting.
A lot changed after COVID, right?
So what are the 2 reasons you can vote?
If they're sick or they've got a medical emergency in the family and if they've been deployed.
So how does being at a school allow you to
I was
vote?
at a school board training is the reason why I done it, but, now, those exceptions I do not know.
They're new to this. This law just changed last year.
So they've made it tighter on Dang.
Okay.
They really didn't,
According to
before,
Chris, like Chris said,
before
it's really
COVID, you
thin
couldn't
line.
do that at all. You had to be in person present. And then COVID happened and everything changed. And then after COVID, they're saying, okay, well, maybe these electronic meetings can happen, but we want to have some very narrow parameters on when this is gonna be acceptable.
So we don't need to add anything, that's just something that can happen per
Right.
state if it needs that.
Right.
So we don't need to say
First of all,
per state law.
Okay, move on. Section 10 is just verbiage except down, instead of tell them what the fine is, if you're just saying state maximum authorized amounts.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Cause it
wanna
may
give me
change from
history
50.
on that?
Yeah, I'll give you, $50 is actually in the state's constitution. So the 1700s, think about what $50 was back
Yeah.
then versus today, but that dollar figure is still in the state's constitution. And the Tennessee Municipal League tried maybe 15 years ago to get a constitutional amendment to change that $50 amount, and it went to the voters, and you can imagine, did it pass?
Oh, no.
No, who wants to have higher than a $50 fine? So,
If you
I
don't
really-
really motivate anybody to change something,
well, if it's,
citation.
if you're getting a $50 every day plus court costs, that will eventually get some of your attention, but, anyway, I don't like to see dollar figures in charters because they get changed so infrequently that 50 doesn't have the same impact today as it did back then.
So clarity says it'll still be a $50 fine, but if that ever changes, if we have $50,
We have
it'll
to change
still
the
be a
charter.
$50 fine. If we
Right.
change it now, if the state constitution changes, then we don't have to update our charter.
That's good. So the next one, you're just adding in the journal that it's referenced in the sentence above it. So,
Oh, okay.
so then you get to section 11. Removal of, there's a lot of verbiage there.
And none of it's legal.
Yeah, 7 days and.
Oh, we have to set the legal part on this.
Yeah. So it went from
So, in other words, we're gonna do it by the law.
2 paragraphs to 1 sentence.
I'm good.
Is everybody okay with that? It was really overkill to read all that. Okay?
Strongly encourage you to be okay with that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I
That gets
got
2
typo
thumbs
there in
up from the
section
point.
11.
All right, section,
Accordance is misspelled.
Okay.
section 12.
So what are you telling us here?
So this is another one. I had a conversation with Melissa Ashburn this morning, and her recommendation is just take this out because state law gives you the authority to make changes, and this is more restrictive. Why would you want to be more restrictive than what the state's going to
So
require?
this is between first reading and second reading?
Yes, making changes to things, and she said she said it was in state law, it was case law, gives you quite a bit of leeway in making changes to ordinances, so her recommendation is don't restrict yourself if you don't have to, so just take that section out.
So to make a change from first reading to second reading, is it specific, it can only be the budget, or can it be anything?
That's the practice that we've been operating under.
But that's not state law.
This removes that.
Right.
This is, so when it says substantially, how much can you change a first to second reading?
You can change a whole lot under case law. You can, if it was 2, you could make it 20.
Completely changed it.
Yeah, I always thought you could completely change it, but then, it's like, well, no, it's just budget, it's
Pretty
only
much
thing.
what's said.
But that's just past practice, basically.
Because our charter
Yeah,
is
that's
more
what the charter said,
restrictive
yeah,
than
more
state law.
restrictive. I mean, I think it needs to be less restrictive for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think why
I'm for taking that out.
why they even have a first and second if you can change it that much.
Well, that's why you have first and second, because you've got the first reading, then maybe it's something that you have a public hearing on, like, for example, your budget. Or if it's zoning, and then you get to hear from the public, and you go, oh, well, we made this change, we didn't think about all of the circumstances, so after the public hearing, after public input, you've got a month or a couple of weeks between readings, maybe you get some more information, you go, oh, yeah, we need to tweak that. It gives you that opportunity.
What's the, any requirement to publicize the change that you make before you vote on it
To the public.
to the public?
No, you're required to post your agenda 48 hours in advance, and all your supporting documents have got to be publicly available. There's transparency required, but you're not required to officially say this has changed.
Do we have, what do we do right now in an ordinance? Do we publicize it? How do we do that? We say,
It's on the
It's on our
website,
website.
and they're available here in the office.
So I'm just trying to think is that you publicize your first reading, that's what goes to the public. And then on the second one, you can just change that altogether. It's like, well, what happened to the transparency of, hey, this is what we're gonna do, but we really ended up doing this?
Well, the first reading is, you're probably not posting the full, at least not in the paper. What you're gonna be doing is publishing the caption, and the caption wouldn't be changing, it's gonna be some of the specifics within it, so the public is still gonna be
When do you
aware.
publicize the full thing?
You can put it on your website, you put all the materials on the website, but you're not gonna publish in the paper every single ordinance that you've got, that's incredibly expensive.
Well, you're expecting the public to do some research
Yeah, but
themselves.
when do you publicize what it is you're about to pass?
You publicize your agenda,
That's
And
it, so
that's-
you don't
that's
have to
a new requirement.
publicize the ordinance at all?
you're supposed to include the supporting materials, and you're publishing it on your website.
So they could see it in the paper and go to the website and get the details.
So, to help clarify maybe some of Councilmember Cardwell's confusion, past practice here has been that we have the first reading and then we publish in the newspaper, the public notice, for every second reading. And we have a public hearing just before the regular
Oh,
meeting
okay.
on the
Okay.
second reading. So that might be some of Councilmember Cardwell's confusion.
That helps, thank you.
We have recently learned from Miss Margaret that we do not have to do that. There's only certain circumstances that we have to give a public advertisement in the newspaper for second
I
reading.
guess what are the circumstances? You know,
Yeah, state requires public hearings on just a finite number of ordinances, zoning, some airport stuff, ouster, budget, very limited instances when you actually have to have a public hearing. So save yourself some time, some money, you don't have to do that. You can if you want to, your charter had it, you can, absolutely, but you're not required to, except in those specific instances.
There's also a bill going through the legislature right now that could possibly remove the requirement to advertise in the newspaper,
Mhm.
correct?
To publish on the website.
I guess it's because a lot of newspapers are not, people don't get newspapers.
A lot of newspapers are going under.
They don't even get them, you know.
So.
I'm just trying to balance the transparency aspect.
The information is all gonna be out there.
I worry about, I think I have a similar worry, there's a more nefarious effect out that, hey, public reading one, it could say this, now all of a sudden the second reading is completely different, and
Yeah,
so.
but, yeah, I would hate for that first reading to be kind of wrong, and then we can't change it on the second one.
Right.
So think about this too, though, if you're gonna have the discussion to pass it on second reading, all that's gonna happen in an open meeting. So you're gonna have that discussion, the first reading said this, now we're saying this, let's have the discussion about it, and you all are voting on that before you adopt it on second reading. So I think the public is gonna have the opportunity to understand, and you're always gonna have discussion on these. I can't imagine a scenario where you would say first reading yes, second reading no, and not be any discussion on it.
I agree with you, but it does open a door, it opens a door for less transparent things to sneak through there, I guess, so it'd be less than transparent. So I have a similar concern, similar
So
thought.
one more.
I'm just trying to, how to.
So,
address it without
one
getting
more,
cumbersome.
I wouldn't worry about if we had, hey, let's change the verbiage right here, but knowing that there's case law that you can change a substantial amount of, whatever it is that is on that public hearing is concerning to me. But I love the idea for it to be able to change.
Yeah.
Hey,
Not just the budget.
right, hey, wow, well, we missed up there, let's add this caveat here and then go up here. And that's, in a perfect world, that's how it would operate. Again, it opens the door for a less than perfect world where there could be multiple things change without transparency.
Very seldom that we change between first and second.
Yeah, very, very rarely.
Oh, right now we don't.
Only budget.
Yeah.
Only budget.
But I mean, I don't know that the need has come up very many times.
We've had to push things off a month, because said, oops, we had to change, and we pushed it off a month.
And our current practice or past practice has been, if you do want to substantially change something other than the budget, you vote it down?
Yes,
Vote it down.
we have voted it down.
And then, yeah,
But for
And then
example,
start over?
That's kind of
this
cumbersome.
could help us in, for example, the historic preservation, grant. We approved an ordinance, then after the first reading of the ordinance, we found out there was verbiage from the state or someone,
The CLG.
thank you. And then we had to kill the first one and start over with the second one.
Yeah.
So that's where we could get
Could've
the
just changed it.
information between, but it's not, as Ms. Norris is saying, it's not happening just, okay, somebody back here's gonna change it. The discussion happens at your meeting, and the changes happen, and that's the next published document.
So in that example, we could have made that change, voted on second reading,
Yeah.
and then went on third.
so I'm
Yes.
somewhere between, it
Save the
doesn't,
month.
it doesn't have to be perfect between first and second, but not a wholesale, substantial rewrite of it by second. Minor changes, yeah, to keep the thing flowing, but going with what Eric was saying also, to almost say, well, let's just throw out first reading and do something completely different. I'm not sure where the transparency is on that. I know it's discussed, I know it's there, but,
Somewhere I would.
so I'm somewhere in between there.
Right, and you all always have the authority to just say, let's rescind that previous vote and start over. You can always do that. So just because you don't have it in there, you can always do that. So if that's a concern to you that we made a change, you can always fall back to your current practice.
We
This
wouldn't
is
have
just
to vote
giving
on
you
it on
some
second
wiggle
reading. We could
room.
vote it down.
So my confusion would be what is substantial.
And that was the problem I had with the language that you had in there before, is that substantial is not defined. And your definition of substantial may be different than your
Yeah.
definition.
I mean, I'm okay with taking it out myself because it's gonna be discussed in open meeting, but now, let's see what the rest of council wants to do.
I'll go with it.
Okay. Everybody's okay taking it out?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so
Did
the
you get it,
next,
Kevin? You did, okay.
the next
Okay.
section has to do with, when the manager is out. And I just posed the question, if this is something that you all are interested in, creating the position of an assistant city manager, now's the time to do it, if that's something that you're interested in. So in the event of a temporary absence, or, I mean, honestly, it gives you some backup in case the city manager decides he's taking another position somewhere else, then you've got someone who's been groomed and ready to go and to backfill that position. But really, Mr. Gawns, I'm assuming that you go on vacation from time to time. So if you had that assistant city manager, it just gives you an extra layer of continuity. So if that's something that you are interested in, let me know. I'll get you some language to put in there.
Well, that's something certainly that the utility board's been talking about.
Does the position of assistant city manager have to be in the charter?
No, it does not. But if you're going to have it, it would make sense to put it in. The MTAS attorney was giving me an example of a city who's in litigation now because they are appointing a vice mayor, but the charter does not say they have the position of vice mayor. No, that's elected versus appointed, so I think you've probably got more flexibility. But if you wanted to have it, throw it in there. This is the time and place to do it. You don't want to have it, this is completely your decision.
In your alternative down here, you're talking about where the manager can just appoint a pro tem.
If
and
it's a
say,
short term.
hey, I'm going to a school for a month and I'm gonna put Michael in charge while I'm gone.
That was an alternative, just, again, throwing
Does
it
he not
out
have
there.
that power already?
Not the way that this was written. The way that your existing charter says is the mayor is the
The temporary
backup.
absence or disability of the manager, pretty
Okay.
much.
The mayor's deputy.
So if it's,
And I don't know
that
if your
would be
mayor
considered
always-
temporary, if it was
Always has the
something-
ability to step in full-time to a position. Most mayors are part-time, they're doing this, on the side and wouldn't have the ability to do that, so.
I do like the idea of the pro tem. I don't know how I feel about the assistant city manager yet, but the pro tem definitely And to that point, I know that was, you were assistant, you were intern manager for a
13
year.
months.
Yeah.
13
So-
months.
That is not the easiest thing to ask of a mayor who has a full-time job already.
I also like the pro tem, because it also says the city council can come back and go,
No, we're gonna do this.
hey, you know what, it's gone longer than a month.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and appoint somebody. Or, hey, it's working great, keep working.
Yeah.
So it gives flexibility of both the manager can appoint somebody, but the council's in a position to say, yeah, we're good with it, or no, we need to, because it went longer than we thought.
So,
So,
because that makes sense at any time.
yeah, so I like the new language that's there.
I do too.
I like the language for
Pretty much leaves it to
long-term
Kevin,
absences.
to Kevin to appoint that person.
But it also gives the council the ability to say, he made a good choice, or oops, that's not working out, let's go
Right.
another direction.
So what happens in the case if, just like we just experienced, where the city manager left? So is,
Then we go to
who puts the pro term manager?
To the city council.
It reads like the city council would.
Unless he appoints somebody on the way out the door.
Right.
But we could come back and say, no, we don't want that.
Right.
So,
And
yeah, it always comes back to city council can then appoint that person.
We could
The
always,
city council will end up appointing that
yeah,
interim city.
Instead of it automatically falling to the mayor like it
Right,
has in the
yeah.
past.
Well, that's the same way the utility did. We appointed you as the pro tem by vote of the utility.
Right.
And so it worked the same way, that the council would just say, hey, we want to appoint this person as the pro tem. So,
Very much the same way.
Okay, is everybody okay with the language written there?
I like that language.
Kenny?
I think what y'all are saying is you want the pro tem language added.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just check.
Except the alternative that I offered in the comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kenny, what do you think? You okay?
Yeah, I like
There.
the idea of a
So
system.
remove what we have.
Right.
Yeah,
I like the idea of assistant as well, but I don't know if we needs to be right there. If that makes sense.
That's, I'm saying,
So
I don't think that needs to be in the charter.
no.
Well, no, I don't either.
I love the idea of assistant, just not written in the chart.
Okay, so the next
You
is,
gotta remember, this is the charter.
I guess section 3, the ending of point 1. Says officers, employees under the jurisdiction and control of the Board of Public Utilities.
Okay, so let's talk about that one for a minute. So Melissa Ashburn, the MPAS attorney, recommends that these be two separate positions. She said, by law, the city attorney cannot be the utility attorney. Those positions are by law mandated to be separate. She said she would use the same reasoning, that you cannot have that same position serving both entities. So her recommendation is that you completely and totally separate those two positions. And I know that's got fiscal, dollar figures that impact that. But you've got this kind of dual role several times, and then actually at one point, I think you're actually contradicting yourself within the charter, saying the manager does this, but not this, but creates some conflicts. So my recommendation is that you just completely, they are two separate entities, keep them separate. Have two different managers.
And third, the special comment.
So,
So you're saying the city,
you opened a big can of worms.
so you're saying that the attorney shouldn't be the same on both
So,
boards?
but the
Yes.
law says the attorney can't be the same, right?
Right.
But the impasse attorney is interpreting from that, they're saying therefore the manager, but the law doesn't say the manager can't be the same.
Correct.
Okay,
But she's applying that logic to the other
Yeah,
position.
but the law doesn't say that it can't be. It's just, the law just says the attorney can't,
Yes,
but the manager can still be the same person, under law.
right. That's my understanding of what she told
Okay.
me.
So we're not violating.
So you're
state law.
fired on one job, which one do you wanna quit from?
Which would you like to leave?
Y'all want to flip a coin?
I didn't even know you were doing both.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the can of worms you opened up.
Okay.
So,
That's news to me.
so, but this language,
Okay, what is the state law that says it can't be that way?
State
about
law
the
says-
attorney.
You can't have the attorney serving both the city council and the utility board.
Okay, is that backed up by state law?
Yes, that's what the attorney told me.
What is that law?
I don't have the citation for it, I can get it for you,
If you can send it to us. because-
certainly. Kevin, would you help me make a note?
So, but let's say that we decide to keep Kevin in both jobs.
Right there.
The current language would then make sense, just saying that in his role as the city manager, he doesn't make city court or public utility decisions. And as city manager, he's not doing anything that's for the utilities. It's in his role as the city manager or the utility director, he's making those decisions. So it makes sense the way it's written.
In most cases, there is one section that, that it created a bit of a problem, and I can't remember what section that was. But you're right, right now, it keeps accepting them, and it's like, why are you accepting them? It's the same position, it's the same, or it's the same person in both positions, so why would you have these exceptions?
Yeah.
Instead of like-
Because they are two
But it's-
separate legal entities.
Right, that's why I've always opined that the city manager does not derive his authority over the utility employees by virtue of his appointment as city manager. He derives that from his appointment as the utility manager under the Municipal Electric Plant Act.
Yes.
And so it's true that wearing his city manager hat, he is not in charge of the Board of Public Utilities. The Board of Public Utilities can remove him from that position at any time, and he still continues to serve as city manager. So
Yes.
that's, again, that is
Could the
where-
city do the same thing?
Yes.
Yes.
So-
The city could remove the city manager, and he would continue to be the utility manager.
Now, legalities aside, these are two full-time positions. And I know you've had this in the charter this way for eons, but I don't know how one person can do both jobs to the best of their ability, because they're two full-time jobs. I mean, one person, I don't think you'd want someone working 80 hours, or 160 hours in a week, or 80 hours in a week, a 40-hour work week.
We're just happy to get 16 out of it.
Well done.
So administratively, for me being a city manager side, I think they need to be two. Legally, she said they need to be separate.
I think that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Okay,
It is. For sure.
and that's
For another
fine.
week, actually.
That's fine. You can keep it the way it is. That was the one, that was number 2 there.
So I think we need to keep the language as is and fire Chris from one of his jobs.
So you think leaving that in 2, except the city council, board of public utilities, leave that in there?
Yeah, because that just tells sort of what Chris was talking about, where it says that just because he's city manager, he can't reach over and do things in utility. It's his appointment to the director gives him that authority. And it just keeps it clean, saying,
Because they are not two separate legal entities.
So are they a department then of the
They're a
city?
department of the city. So the Board of Public Utilities was created by ordinance from the city, and the city can dissolve the Board of Public Utilities at any time and vest that power back in the city council.
It's all combined.
So they're not,
So
they do
are
not have.
utility
se-
employees city employees?
Yes, they do not have a separate corporate existence.
Okay, then that's gonna create the problem there under number 2, that you're saying that then who's supervising the public utilities?
The utility board appoints a manager.
You see where I'm confused?
Right.
It would be much better to keep them separate.
Right.
Utilities is its own separate entity, otherwise it's a department of the city, and why wouldn't the city manager
Right.
oversee all of your departments?
It's just like the
The
utility,
city owns the utility.
the city owns, yeah.
So you don't have the fire department under separate management and direction and separate board. What's the difference between utilities and another city department like Parks and Rec or planning and zoning?
So by that suggestion, it would either be create a new city manager or dissolve utility board.
Or just have leave the utilities out of it, they're their own separate group, especially if they've got their own board, then the cities,
or the other way around, like you
Or
were
dissolve
Right.
the utility board.
or completely, yeah, or just combine them.
But I think for now, for this,
The utilities exists as its own entity. It's not a utility authority, which is what Cleveland and Tullahoma and a lot of those. Athens, well, Athens is a utility authority. Athens would be a perfect example. Athens is a utilities board. It's a separate board appointed by the mayor, approved by the council. It's its own entity. It lives on the city charter and it lives, the budget comes to the city council to be approved as part of the city budget. The reason that people form utilities authorities, think of Cleveland, Tullahoma, Bright Ridge, which would be, was former Johnson City, because the debt of a utility lives on the city's books. A lot of these cities, when they've gone into the fiber business and taken on huge debts, the city wanted to get the utilities debt off of their books. So they create a utility authority. They put 2 council members, they set that up, and then it no longer lives on the city's books. But they are 2 different entities. They are, their budgets roll up together and they have to be approved under, but they are, it's not the city's electric department, it's the utilities electric department. That's where it gets confusing for people at times, but there's tons of cities and utilities just like us that have a utilities board and a city council. They just all have a city manager and a utilities manager. Same setup we are here right now. Drive down the road to Athens, Sweetwater, they have a utilities board and a city council, many of those. Now there are.
But they have 2 managers, 2.
Yes.
2 separate.
But it is 2 separate entities that are combined through charter, that live under the same charter. If it's a utility authority, which many people are doing now to get that off of their debt. Utilities debt's an $80 million water plant, a $20 million sewer or fiber. Crap, that's all on our balance sheet. Let's create a utility authority to be a separate entity. That's when they become totally separate entities. They are separate entities governed by 2 different governing bodies, but they still exist together-ish, but they have 2 different managers, I guess is what. We're no different here than Athens, Sweetwater, any that's not a utility authority, that's a utilities board that has a board and a council.
A municipal utility.
Yeah, it's municipal utilities.
And the mayor and the council appoint the board members.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm interested in the division of tasks, division of the utility manager and city manager to best utilize both times and both projects going on.
If you all ever decide to do that, you don't have to change anything in the setup that you have right now to do that, other than we got a couple of positions that we co-pay. But you do not have to become a utilities authority to be 2
separate.
Right. That's all I'm trying to explain, is that's when they are 2 totally different, completely different entities. They're still 2 different entities, but you have control over who is on the board. If they become a utility authority, if you decided to make LUB a utility authority, then you would set this, where their board members had to come from, how many of them were you all, different things, and then their debts are not on your books. But the way most utilities are, unless they've created a utility authority, the cities, the utilities lives under the umbrella, but they're 2 different entities.
The city has to issue the debt.
Yes. Yeah. They have.
But to split the positions, we don't have to have that in our charter. Is that correct? Or
Your charter right now, in my opinion, is
fine to do that?
Keeps them separate,
It
because
keeps
it's
them
always
separate.
accepted.
Gotcha.
and don't hear that I'm not saying. I'm not telling you have to do that. I'm saying if you decide to do that, you are set up now to where you can. You don't have to change the charter to do that.
Right. So hypothetically, we can ask you to draw us a roadmap that says, this is what other municipalities do that have a utilities board and how they split that position. You present that to council for us to talk about.
If that was what you all asked me to do, there's tons of examples of, that we could definitely share with you that show how that works.
So as far as this language, are we good with leaving it like it is?
Like
I
it
think
is.
I'm for leaving.
I'm okay with this.
Leave it like it is?
Now, is that number one or number two? I'm sorry.
Part of one
I
and
think
part
I
of
missed
two.
number one.
Part of one and two.
So it's both?
Yeah, let's talk about number two though, because you threw in city court, and I don't understand why that is
Yeah.
separated out. Your court clerk is not an elected position, it's an appointed position, so I don't understand why that position wouldn't fall under the purview of the city manager. If you've got a good reason for it, leave it, but if you don't, let's not make the exceptions.
In practice, how it operates right now is council selects the city judge, but the court clerk is actually employed with the public safety department.
So still a city employee,
Mm-hmm.
and all city employees report to the city manager.
Mm-hmm.
So I just didn't understand why it was
Is
separated
the
out.
thought that person responds to the direction of the judge and not the city manager? Is that the thought?
No. Right there's her boss.
No, I'm asking. I mean, is that the thought where it says except for city court? Is that keeping the city manager out of the functioning of the city court?
I think it's probably just an antiquated thing where the city judge got to pick his assistant, and
Okay.
that's not how things work
They
anymore.
take it out then.
So just take out the word where it says except city court and leave Board of Public Utilities.
Strike city court and.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It mean the manager would appoint the judge,
No,
No,
as I said.
Just love.
keep the except.
yeah, except Board of
Except
Public Utilities. Take out the city court and.
Yeah, just leave it except.
Okay. Oh, good point. Thank you.
So
He's got that changed, yeah.
I have some confusion about, this makes the city manager in charge of so if you did split it, that would be saying, if I were the city manager, I would be the utilities manager's boss.
No, not if you leave except in.
Yeah,
That's
keep
what
the
it
Oh,
except.
except.
Leave except.
You're just striking city court and.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were striking all, okay, I got you now.
Just taking out the city.
Just take
court.
city court out, yeah.
Looks like a power grab to me there, see.
Okay, nothing else on that page?
That's not right.
Yeah.
It's not right.
No, it should say except.
Yeah.
Put the word except back
The
in.
word of public utilities.
Keep the city,
Put it after city,
agencies of the city,
Okay.
except the,
except the Board of Public Utilities. No,
I got it. I was trying to take the strike off, but it won't.
don't strike one.
fix your spelling.
I'll let you fix that later.
Got me frazzled.
Or arrow back, put arrow back, fix, go back to that.
Still love backseat drivers here.
It's always when you're looking at that.
We don't have a clear view of the TV, he's got a light shining on there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's sideways.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to do the same
There we
thing.
go.
but I
The glare
can't see.
makes it hard.
Delete and re-add.
Okay.
And then the in between. Add the before
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, the.
The.
You got it. All right, next page,
Alright,
just taking out the word all, I guess, the next.
Yes, there are instances when your city attorney will not be representing you in court because your insurance agency or carrier has appointed an attorney, so
Yeah,
saying all.
Could be insurance or, yeah, or something, yeah.
carry on.
Let me ask one question,
Sorry.
and this came up. Who does the city attorney work for?
You all,
Just the council or to the city manager or?
city council appoints the attorney.
We done fired him.
Yeah, well, just, I'm trying to say which one we're firing from.
You want more blood? All right,
Keep it the order. I'm just circling.
Number 7, so it says compensation requirements.
So the question is, you're saying the recorder's the only position that's also confirmed by city council, and why do we do that?
Right. Is there a reason for that?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question, I don't know.
I do not know the answer. The only thing that I can surmise, which there's no fact behind this, is that, in the 20s, when the charter was originally written, the city recorder did just about everything. And there were no federal laws then to protect, certain employment practices. So maybe if a new manager came in, they could fire the city recorder and hire his aunt. Or something to that effect, is the only thing that I've been able to come up with.
Yeah,
Because it is a position of public trust and institutional knowledge.
But the city manager, that system didn't come around until much later, and this was written as a city manager. I understand your point.
That's the only thing I can come up with.
One thought was, hey, the city manager's doing bad things and the recorder's trying to keep him from doing it, and so he says, okay, you're fired. And since we have to confirm, that means we also have to confirm their firing. Then on the flip side is, the recorder could just be doing whatever they want and the city manager can't get rid of them.
Mhm.
So it works both ways. So I'm just, it goes back to what the intent was, so.
And would take you longer to replace the city recorder in that, if leaving it like it is too.
I would go with the suggestion, just take it out.
Take it out,
Keep
that's what I would think too.
Keep it.
Unless you had a really good reason for it,
Yeah,
if you can't
I
come
don't
up with
think I don't think
one.
we've heard a good reason other than back in the 20s. It was,
Right.
you know.
Wait, too
So-
far.
I mean, if he tries to fire, we'll just fire him anyway, so.
And then also take out the dollars amount
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Rice, you mentioned that today. So what's really on your mind?
Something's working there.
Firing him or me?
Yeah.
Okay, we're down to section 3.
I'm good with 3.
Section 1, I'm gonna make sure I got this right. So I need to delete what, not
We're
say not
accepting
manager.
her recommendation.
But there was just there wasn't anything written in, so I've either gotta delete it or, there was nothing stricken.
Oh,
So,
okay.
do you want me to go ahead and do that, or do you want me to come
Yeah, go
back?
ahead and
do that?
strike, subject to confirmation by council, just delete that.
The recorder shall be appointed by the city manager and shall be the head of the department, And then take out the dollar amount.
I'm good with the rest of Article 7.
It's just supposed to be as set by ordinance.
Yes.
We're supposed to be,
Now, where did that other comment come in?
Give such bond to the city as set by,
Right there with your
as set by
cursor.
ordinance.
to the city, as set by, right there?
As set by ordinance, Take out provided by, the amount provided by.
I'm in the wrong place.
You can just leave it right there, shall give bond to the city. You could leave it at that. If you want to
Okay.
specify the dollar amount in ordinance, you can. I don't know that you need to have that in the charter.
The way I understand it is it's covered under the blanket bond.
Right, you probably, unless you wanted a
addition to
higher
the
amount than what the
bond.
blanket bond covers, but
Current bond is 200,000.
But we can do that by ordinance.
you can.
So is that right now?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
Give such bond to the city.
Mhm.
Okay, down, so instead of it saying, the bonds should be in custody of the mayor, say city manager.
Yes.
That's clear, I think.
What's this?
Should just say city
resolution
manager
books?
right there.
I don't know why
what
that's,
resolution books is red.
I don't know either.
Can you just reject that?
Oh, because it didn't have
Oh,
resolution.
yeah, I
books
added
in
that.
there.
Oh,
I added
okay.
that. You didn't have that in there.
Okay.
That's why that was in there, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then put city manager there. And then put such copies, I guess. Instead of therefore.
What's the parenthesis there?
It's
It
just there's an
starts with
exception.
accept.
Yeah, tracking changes is tough.
That's why.
Okay, section 3, good.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, he's talking about where the parentheses. So, all officials accept his own bond, which shall be in the custody of the city manager,
In parentheses.
in parentheses, okay.
There you
Does it have
go.
to be parentheses or just?
Is it that, is the
Yeah,
recorder,
you've got
the
the other
recorder
side.
keeps everything except for the recorder's bond,
Yeah,
which the
which is-
manager keeps.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's your clause that you're defining by the parentheses.
I mean, why parentheses, why
There.
not just a?
You could use commas.
It says his, shouldn't it be there? Sorry.
Yeah, it should be.
There's a lot of places.
I think at the very end,
Yeah, I've got
there's
that
a
covered
comment
at the
of
end.
that.
At the very end.
A gender clause. Sorry, it covers everybody. Yeah, section 4 is just modernizing language.
I'm good.
Okay,
Same with 8.
ready to go to the next page?
Yep.
Section 8, same thing, just grammatical changes.
This interested, did we?
Well, it just says if the recorder, here they.
Yeah,
record
so
first,
at the end of this clause, right now you've got that your city recorder absolutely has to be your finance director. And I thought you might want some flexibility in that, and that's an optional language, is that the city may separate the financial responsibilities from the city recorder by appointing a finance director.
Oh, that's a new note.
That's a new note, yes. And interested doesn't have anything to do, I should have highlighted the whole section, but,
Okay.
just to give you a little bit of extra flexibility.
No, I agree with that.
Back in section 1, it says they
Shall
shall
be,
be
right.
read.
So I probably need to do that in both, use that clause in both,
Okay.
or you can add that one to the first one and duplicate it here.
So,
So I need to add that clause somewhere.
Yep, to the
one.
section 1 as well.
Where are you gonna add it, at the end?
So where it says,
Yeah.
recorder shall be appointed, I
It
think.
was
No, you was right, Kevin.
What about
Yeah, just
section,
copy and paste at the end of
Up a
each
little bit more.
section.
right
I'm
here.
gonna say, what about section 6?
Shall.
Mhm.
what do you,
Well, where'd it
Second
go?
Second sentence. It's a second sentence,
There it
recorder
is.
shall be appointed by the
Right
city
here.
manager.
and shall be,
This one.
So it's two shall.
it's the second shall.
So what am I writing in place of shall?
I can
May.
put it further
That,
than
Not
that
all.
shall there.
There's a second shall at the end of the sentence.
I know, what are you gonna put in?
You can put may, and then you can
Just
copy
say
that
may.
clause that I had at the bottom, and you can add that to the end of this section.
That way, they can be the head, but if you don't want,
May not wanna be.
if
There
we
you
wanna
go.
hire someone said, they can.
Now, whether you wanna keep it at the end, or you wanna put it right after the end of that first sentence in section 1, wherever you want,
What do you all?
it's your choice.
The only difference in the meaning between may or shall.
That's why
May
we put
is,
may.
may is permissive,
It's
shall
opposite.
is mandatory.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think right there.
So
Yeah,
we do
I
that
think
there?
so.
I think right there, yeah.
There you go.
We got he in there a lot too, where it says he shall.
Yes,
Now, do
I've
we
got a
need to
clause
take
at
out
the end that covers all
That
of
she's
that.
got a voice.
You never heard it, have you?
Alright, we're good with that?
So this would go at the end of each
Why does that
section
person
still?
Cause she talking to us.
Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, the minutes,
she have to
that
do
doesn't
it?
apply
I
to the
listen to Burton more than I do
minutes.
y'all.
That's all good, section 3, section 4. Section 5 is where you wanna add that in, so paste at the end of section 5. The recorder as the head,
Right if you're interested.
right, there you go.
Okay, and then under 8.
6, the treasurer, finance director. I mean, you could change this, in section 6, you could say the recorder may be the treasurer of the city, and then add that sentence at the bottom. You've also got an 8, so.
Yes,
Yeah, I think so. Where it says shall, take that out. Put may.
Tell me where again.
First sentence, under 6. Keep going.
Well, there too.
The city recorder may.
May.
and then back up to the title, there you go.
And if you want to do a copy and paste to the end of that sentence where you're specifying who's doing those duties in lieu of.
You have to do it again? Wow.
Just for clarity.
Right.
All right, now, number 8. Temporary absence, disability may.
I'm good with the way it's recommended.
You don't require an extra one?
No. Strong combo.
Yeah. Do we want to keep in writing? Or just stay?
Yeah.
May appoint?
No, in writing's fine, just a memo to say,
Okay, is everybody okay with 8?
Yes.
Do you want to require confirmation of council, or do you want to give that authority strictly to the manager
no,
for a
we
temporary?
didn't require him to, confirmation to appoint the boss, why temporary?
No, I think so too.
So take that out.
Take that out.
I think so, yeah. So down to section 3.
I think I deleted something I wasn't supposed to. No, I didn't.
And once we get a clean copy, I will give this back to the MTS attorney for a final review, another set of eyes to look at it.
Yeah, don't worry, Kevin, Negan's taking diligent notes.
Okay, good.
So I guess.
This glare.
I guess on,
Little smiley faces.
on this, instead of listing them,
It's recorded 2 different ways too.
instead of listing the personnel rules, just say it
Follow the
in
law.
compliance with state law.
Yes,
Instead of listing them
I'm
out.
good with that.
State law.
and just so you know, there's what state law
Yeah,
requires for
instead of
personnel
listing all
laws.
those, just reference state law.
Okay.
So is there something I'm supposed to do?
Shall adopt personnel rules in compliance with state law, and then you can take the rest of that out. Don't take all of it out. They
No,
still,
just the
the council shall adopt personnel rules in compliance with state law, period. And then take everything else out after that.
So after the word rules, before the word which, so, okay, so start here. Yep.
Take all that out.
Mhm.
Just
And
period.
after rules, say
In accordance.
in accordance with state law after rules.
I-N.
State law, lowercase, just for consistency. There you go.
All right.
And I think you've probably got more beyond 3 on the next page.
Section 5. Yeah.
Section
I've
5,
never- I've never
There's
understood why that is either.
I like that though.
Hold on,
It's
back
just,
up just a second, where this charter,
Yeah, take it.
are we accepting that?
yeah, take that out.
Remove that, okay.
I like
this
that,
is
that
what
you
is-
have taken over.
Yeah, it's just whatever we prefer.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. I just never understood why it really.
It doesn't matter to me either way.
Yeah.
Now, but right now it says, every appointed officer, who is that? Who are the appointed officers?
Staff, your staff are all
Every,
appointed by the city.
every
manager.
staff?
Every
So right now you're
staff.
saying every single person that works for the city has to take an oath?
Mhm.
We have not been following that.
Yeah, so that's what it's saying, so.
It's just been, well, the manager and city judge and all of us.
Myself and we've recently
Well,
started
us
with
is,
the directors.
it's by law,
Yeah,
we have to do.
department heads.
But this saying is every single employee
Mhm.
has to take an oath.
Okay, police and fire, I know that for a fact.
One of the officer.
Yeah, but they're sworn, that's different. So are we saying that every single employee has to take an oath?
Mhm. pretty much. I
Is that
mean, your
what we want?
part-time lawn mowers in the summertime, they're appointed.
Part-time, anybody?
That's gonna be rough.
Yeah, so all your lifeguards out there have to swear in, umpires, everybody.
I mean, doesn't the word officer mean anything? I mean, that's department heads, that's your.
It could be, but it's never defined, so then you have to take it at its broad application, which
I mean, if
means
we're gonna keep it permanent,
everybody who's
define it.
appointed.
I think just remove it, because up here it says that we have to take an oath as the elected officials. Now, we can come back and say, the
Just
city
the
manager,
City manager should take it over.
so we'll just say, city
Leave it at
manager,
that.
and leave it at that.
I mean, that's somewhere else, right?
I mean, you could require that in your personnel policy.
We could require it under where it talks about the managers.
You could add that one in up there.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, does it have to be in the charter, or can we just make it a policy, personnel policy to say, the following people take oaths? We can say city manager, department heads, and leave it at that, or,
What is this oath of office? What is it?
But you're gonna obey the Constitution of the
United States.
state,
Charter of-
you're gonna follow your charter, you're gonna follow
Charter
your
of the City of
ordinances.
Loudon.
but it's all ceremonial, there's no legal status to it for an appointment.
Not for an appointed, yeah. So if someone doesn't follow the state's constitution, do you have any,
Yeah, we
you're not
can't,
gonna oust them from office.
Terminate it for it.
yeah, or bring them up on charges for violating their oath.
Right.
I like the idea of it. I mean, if we're already not enforcing that, all our part-time employees
Yeah.
do the oath. I don't know, I think it's funny. I like the idea of it, I guess, but.
Well, we can just define it and say who we think should do it if we wanna have people do it, say the manager and department heads.
I don't think we need to include temps and
The
everything.
attorney.
And the attorney.
Yeah, especially the attorneys, right?
Maybe we just.
They do it twice.
Yeah. He said LUV doesn't make them take an oath, we went over there.
Like that?
Department heads and attorney.
Yeah.
Either those need to be capitalized.
Judge.
And city judge,
Judge.
Yeah.
Throw that one in there.
say city judge.
Yeah, the city judge does.
I mean, if we're doing all that, then we need to put the city recorder, because that's a separate.
Yeah.
Isn't she a department head?
Well, she may be.
She's a charter position.
Okay, well, spell it out, say recorder. So manager, recorder, city judge,
You got
department
manager,
head.
city judge, department head,
Throw it
attorney,
in.
and recorder.
So, city recorder,
I bet my batteries are dying. Can somebody go get me some batteries? I think my batteries are dying.
Steve,
the city
double A,
recorder.
those guys both.
And Michael Hogan.
Keep scribbling. You don't trust?
Yeah.
I don't trust this one.
In-
And the battery keeper.
I'd like to add city before manager.
For consistency,
The city, yeah.
city attorney, city manager, city
The
attorney.
city manager,
Okay.
But I found the
City
secretary
recorder,
Megan
the
Holt.
judge, department heads,
Say what?
and the
I found
attorney.
the secretary Megan Holt.
Do we just say city attorney?
It says secretary.
Yeah, go ahead and put in city attorney.
City attorney, he feels left out.
Yeah, thank you. Last but not least.
Yeah, you're good with judge.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I think that's a fair compromise between everybody and everybody.
City before department heads or just department heads?
Just put everybody,
That's
everybody
better.
has one time.
That's better than
Like we do
that.
single department. Re-enlistments, you have a whole group.
Yeah.
You get the whole group of lifeguards.
Okay, number 2 under finance.
I think we need to keep where it says except board of utilities, be consistent with what we did earlier.
Let's take a moment and change some batteries here.
This will take just a second, I'm gonna get some more water.
We're gonna take a 10-minute break.
I can do 5 minutes.
Who has the authority to call one?
No, we can take 5 minutes and play changes.
Take 3-minute break.
Okay, it's 3:41.
Leave the button on.
Yeah, leave that one, but not this.
I'm a fire
Do you need the mouse too?
Okay.
There are chips
Food, you not eating lunch?
I don't know what I tell I had to take 4 hours vacation for this.
Hey, I know the feeling. In them 13 months, that I took a lot of vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still working?
At the church, yeah.
Oh, at the church.
Yeah, so I took vacation at the church, I take half a day vacation to be here. For
We're
13
getting close
months.
to the end, I'm just trying to figure out,
Yeah.
is there a slider bar?
Yes, I would
It's not
say.
showing up, but we're getting
Yeah.
close.
So, yes, we,
How is it?
10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Good, really good.
Finance, there's a lot of
130,
changes.
132 kids.
Then,
Man, Saturdays, it's, whew,
That's good, good way to live.
oh, it is. Yeah.
taxation.
Sounds like you're saying, you know,
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to go knock on the doors, they're coming here. You know, they're coming to your
Skip over
place.
12.
We have to come back to that.
And
I've kind of heard that,
Where we at?
I think we've
That's
just.
what we're just trying to
Just trying
figure
to
out how much
we've
was
got
left.
something worked out.
Not much.
Oh, okay.
As long as we don't do this.
Well,
I think
we've worked that
that would be a better thing to do another time.
yeah, there's no way, we don't even have that English language, so
Okay,
we'll just.
Yeah.
so.
What I like
Get,
of what is going on so far
they
is
agreed to 3,000.
if there is a vote,
So the city's
vote
gonna
on
put
the
offices in
changes
there.
that have been
Get,
created and
get
presented
out of the
as a
hallway.
future document.
Split them up.
So,
And we'll put,
And
we'll
I
pay.
can,
with
I
council
didn't mark it up
member,
because
we'll pay like
it just needs to go away,
office
but
space.
I can mark it up and I can have Melissa Ashburn look at it and we can have you look at it and then we can,
Yeah.
when you vote to adopt the resolution, absolutely go over that section that's been changed
Well,
before.
She talked to me a lot about it.
Make sure
and I
you're
said,
okay with this.
I think I just at least 18 months to go there.
I told her that. I
I
said,
would just
we put this out for
basically
bid.
Knox, city Knoxville.
In Oklahoma, Oklahoma, and,
Pretty
only
close.
two, but we're close.
Yeah, all this stuff.
And I said, we're getting ready to vote on it in 2 weeks. I said,
That's why we in here, we said 10 days, that was too long, that was 20 days. There's.
yeah, that's exactly what I told
So
her.
I
but
can
she
do it,
wasn't
if you wanna
happy
do
with
it, just
that.
present it, I'm fine with that
And I
too.
said, okay, I want to put you in touch with Kevin.
There was some rough
You
calls.
need to text Kevin, let him know what
One
you
of the calls,
like to
there was several.
have a car back. I mean, they're ready for surgery. This is
All
cancer surgery.
Yeah.
So there's some things that they want to talk to about. I can't answer those questions. You should do Kevin. That's what Kevin today.
They called some hours and I got my calls out.
He said they can. Oh, I think so. I think it.
Referee. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
fun
that's the
thing,
step.
yeah, that's the goal. Thought you said 15 minutes would be out of here.
It's Ken's fault.
I'll take blame.
You gotta put those 2 hours in.
You're moving.
I said 3 hours and 15 minutes.
We can go 5.
So, my next hit's at 7, I got school board at 7 o'clock, so I
No,
gotta.
no, the second one is just the alternate charter.
Yeah.
All right, you made me nervous. I was like, we got like 3 sections left.
Chris was fast. Wait in now.
Wait a second. You're looking at.
We've made a dent in it.
Yeah.
I think Chris knows.
I thought, yeah, I was like, I'm with John, I thought we were gonna be out of here an hour ago.
Reading.
Well, if Kenny would've read it before we'd be done.
I didn't have it
She said it yesterday.
Email.
yesterday.
She said, what did you do all last night? I had to watch the balls last night?
No, I watched Family Feud.
You were watching Tennessee last night, 9 o'clock.
No, I watched Family Feud.
I can't believe it was a 20-point
Wheel of
lead.
So
Fortune's
they're
more
like, here we
fun.
go again, you know, Kentucky all over.
It's like,
Family Feud is
what's it,
like.
5 points?
How many minutes we didn't score?
It was an 18.
Who won Eric, who won last night? Wow, they ended up the girls. Did they?
Casey won the
But it's
three.
always like, you have a
Kingston.
great game plan for first half. I
Yeah.
mean, the other team adjusts, and it's
I
like,
turned it off when it was in.
And it happened.
I can't believe that guy scored 20 points in the first half. Now, he was hitting some miracle shots.
All right, we'll go ahead and call it back to order at 3:45.
47.
Okay, I was just looking.
Yeah, I'm using mine.
Okay,
47 returned.
all right. So we're on section 5, oh no, we got through that one.
Or
So we're
Article
in
9,
section 3.
Section 2.
Well,
Wireless or direct connected.
we said leave except the board of utilities
Yes.
because of the other language we left.
Yeah.
Previously. So now, we got the 60 days in there. So Margaret suggested
Yes,
45.
so I suggest 45. If you're doing 60 days before the beginning of the fiscal year, you're losing a month and a half of data, basically, in making your projections. So if you shorten that time frame, you're gonna have more data, make better estimates on your budget, so.
Kevin,
Melissa?
what's your?
Oh, we're fine with 45.
I agree with Margaret.
Okay.
Of course, it makes,
It's an extra 15 days.
15 days can be a big difference.
Well, it kind of gives y'all an extra 15 days.
Yeah.
Like, because if we're, which I hope we fixed that in what we just did last month and not having to finagle the numbers at the last minute. But if we need to, we've got 15 more days
Yeah.
to get it read and passed and to be able to still be in compliance with state law.
well, let's back the boat up a second. Right now, it still requires 2 readings. And so that means that you still have to have it to us by May, at latest, May's workshop. So we can vote in May and then vote again in June. So it's still about 60 days.
If you get technical, 45 is closer to it.
We could call, if we were running behind, we could call a called meeting between 45 and 60 days and get it through. We have to do it 60 days before the way this is, the way it's.
So the way it's written now, we need to show a first presentation in April, which we do that, we workshop it and look at it right now in April.
Mhm.
But this would give us until the May workshop
Mhm.
to
A
do
little more
that.
leeway, 15 more days, basically.
Mhm.
And another month's worth of data.
Yeah.
You may not have the certified tax rate in April.
That's my concern
Right,
this
I'll go-
year.
I'll go 45, see how it.
45.
I just, that next sentence though, is make sure that the manager does provide a message and explains both fiscal, all that stuff you're supposed to do there, manager.
He will.
But it's in the charter. We hadn't seen that in a while.
Sorry, can we back up? I was still asleep. On section 2, what are we doing on that? Are we keeping the exception of the board of utilities? We're keeping that separate right now?
Yes,
I think because of what we did earlier.
just to be consistent.
Carry on.
And that'd be with the same as the next one.
Yeah, I guess
Yes.
that was Margaret's
In section
question down there.
4.
Why is that group,
Yeah,
exempted?
same reason.
So leave that,
Leave the accepted,
leave that like it is for consistency.
and then add the statement that she's recommending about the comptroller. I have no problem with
That's
that.
good with accepting that.
Then
In same way where it says in accordance with state law.
on section 7,
Mhm.
leave that. It made by amendment to the budget ordinance. Reduce, is everybody okay with that?
Just giving you a little extra specificity.
Okay.
Okay, section 9, it's all highlighted there.
So in other words, do it by state law?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
It's state law anyway. You don't even need to say
Don't
it. You're
even
gonna
say
have
it,
to do it, so you can take the whole section out.
Now throw it in there. Just make somebody go back
What
and
does it say,
reference.
state law?
If I remember correctly, state law says that we would have to give that authority in the budget ordinance or
Through it.
some other ordinance.
Yeah, you'd
right?
have to have another piece of local legislation to be able to mandate, giving that authority to someone else.
That's part of the budget, would be the implementing ordinance would give the authority about fund transfers.
Right,
That
so I
makes
gave you suggested rewording, the council may authorize the transfer of money between departments within a fund pursuant to state law. If you wanna keep that in there, use
Okay.
that language.
So,
If you're gonna have to do it anyway, you can just delete it.
so your recommendation is just delete it?
Take it clean out.
Because the law's already,
Yes,
Right,
take it out, yeah. We're going.
but knowing now, we have to put that in the implementing ordinance about authorities.
Most cities that I've looked at, they have that extra paragraph in their budget ordinance.
Okay. Because there may be something specific for that year we want to either have a tighter control or a less control on. It might be a special project, and we say, hey, that has to come back to us, or add that just the manager can do it, or the department head can do it.
Right.
We can, okay.
Yes, is everyone okay with taking that clean out?
Yep.
Okay,
and you'll need to renumber, which he's working
Yeah.
on right now.
yeah.
And section 10 was just, I think, clearer language, simpler language.
Funds are available.
Oh, okay, I got
So
it.
good with both of
Section
those.
11.
Yeah, under 11.
I'm
yeah.
good. I was misreading it, I'm good.
So 12 is, again, it's in compliance with state law. I guess it's something we could take out because state laws can require it.
I'm good.
Remove current section 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna remove 12 and do go back to renumber.
Yeah.
And back
Remove
to,
12, it's now 11.
and 14, we're back to
We'll let him catch up here.
by state law.
Mhm.
And then
12.
Which is 12. Old 14.
Yeah.
New 12.
Yeah, right. So you say state law and then take all that pink out and say state law again.
Just delete all this
Yes.
And then except for state law.
nonsense.
There's a word, state law, hold on, before it comes.
Okay.
I got that number back right. 11, 12.
So no taxation, so I
New
guess
taxation, so the 30 days, I'm not sure about the 30 days, that's what I still need to verify, and Melissa Ashburn did not give me a comment on that one, so I'll figure that one out.
What is it you're trying to fix or
The
what?
30 days, I'm just not sure that
you don't know
30
if 30
days
days is under
is.
state law.
On a
What
cer-
state
and-
law says.
And we've never done a distress warrant, and whoever the city attorney is not gonna do a distress warrant. That's basically where you go down here to the shop and take the money out of the drawer because they didn't pay their taxes.
So we better I'll just take that out.
Well, no, we need to leave it.
You leave it in,
Yeah.
but you just know about 30 days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to double check with the
Okay.
30 days was
So we'll leave it
compliant.
in, but just, we don't know about the time frame.
Right,
And this applies mostly to the personal property taxes?
Yes, it's only personal property taxes,
Oh, okay, so it's just tangible personal property.
tangible personal property.
Should we say that or is it?
Yeah, should we
It's in
spell that out?
But, I mean, that's.
It's in there?
it's personal property.
Oh, yes, so, okay.
All right, section 5?
Kevin, you caught up with us?
I think so, yeah.
So section 5, you're mandating this procedure. And that's fine, you can do that. But mandating you're taking everything to court, I'm just not sure that you're getting a sufficient return on investment in that. If it is, and you
It's
want to keep
mandated
it,
by
that's
state law.
fine.
It is mandated.
Yes.
By March 1?
No, they have to certify the list to,
Oh,
to
yes.
the attorney by March 1,
Right.
and then the attorney has to file suit by April 1.
So,
Do we need to spell that in?
No, because it's all in state law.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And, yeah, and if the city attorney fails to do so, then the district attorney is required to do it.
you've got the right to collect your taxes.
Yeah.
But there are other methods of getting delinquent taxes besides going to court. So I just,
You can turn them over to collection, can you?
you can turn them over to collection.
That's only on personal property. But we're talking, this is talking about real property.
could we say pursuant to state law?
You
Like
could
we
again
have in
add,
other sections, or does it need to be more
and even
spelled
the
out?
percentage of, the delinquent fee is also in state law too, so. Everything else you
This is
said
your
you're
area, Chris.
Yeah.
How do
I'm in
you
the
want
dark on
it?
this
How do
one.
you want it?
I mean, I don't think we need to mess with it because, I mean, that's exactly what we do and that's the way it's always going to be done.
Okay,
So-
let's leave it in. Leave it in.
Leave it.
By March 1.
Just like it is, Chris.
Well, I mean, we technically don't do it by March 1. We give people a little bit of a leeway, but again, that's,
Yeah, let's leave it
it's
as
it's not worth messing
Okay.
with.
Is the 10% accurate?
10% is in state law.
Now, state law could change it, and if it does, then you're gonna be out of compliance with it. So you may wanna say, just you're gonna collect taxes in accordance with state law. You could do that.
Instead of saying 10%.
I'm good with
There
that.
it is.
I'll just give you the TCA, the
If we put that in there though, if that changes, we've gotta go back.
we'll just say that the city attorney shall file suit to enforce tax liens in accordance with TCA 67. Well, not, we don't want to put the number in there. In
It's
accordance with
state
state
law.
law. Yeah.
I have it on my keyboard, so. Tell me that again, Chris.
You can repeat that?
The city attorney shall institute a suit to enforce tax liens in accordance with state law.
Instead of the entire paragraph.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me the rest of it again, I'm
Tax
sorry.
liens.
I love spell check.
Yes.
And there's a lot of pages in there that don't mean anything after this one.
Subject is terrible for me.
I assume we're good with removing.
You caught up with us?
Yeah, if we're on city
We're-
court now.
We're on city court.
Yeah, on city court where it just says
I'm good with section one.
or, and it's just clerical stuff in this section instead of herein.
Yeah, it's typo.
So those good, and then I guess we need to decide if this is permanent or temporary.
I think both, right?
A lot of times, if it's a temporary, the judge knows that he or she can't make court on the next court date. The
So they
judge will just
schedule it.
appoint his or her own substitute for that one time, so, I didn't know if you wanted to get into that, or if you just wanna leave it as it is, you can do that.
Okay, as it is, and no issues have come up with it.
Mhm.
I don't
Or
think
should
any
it be
issue come up.
May? Or should it be May?
The,
The council may designate instead of shall.
I will say the reason it did not come up just recently when we changed city attorneys,
Two judges.
or
City
city
judges,
judges, I'm
mhm.
sorry.
Chris.
Was,
It's just on our mind.
Put a punching bag in
it was because Judge Jeff gave us like
Yes,
a
it has,
9-month heads up.
Right, and again, getting back to what me was, I think that in the past, if a judge was gonna be out for a month, they would either cancel court if it wasn't anything pressing, or they would appoint, or, Brian Nichols or something to sit in for that one day. So,
So I agree
But the
with,
way it is now, you all would have to vote on
Yeah,
a
we
temporary
can do that.
I
judge.
agree with Megan that just change the word to may.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because the judge may appoint somebody, we may say, no, we don't want that person in your stead. But if we don't mind who they appointed, we don't have to do anything.
Mhm.
So just change that one word, gives us
Leave the rest
flexibility.
of it.
May,
Yeah.
Um,
See, Megan got a voice.
So now we're getting down to cutting out the amounts, and just say
I'm good with,
state limits,
I'm good with 4.
state authorized limits instead of $50 and $10.
So just delete all of that?
Now in section 5, I guess this is, Chris, we're gonna have to ask you about this one.
yeah, I mean, the city judge isn't putting anyone in jail or,
Yeah.
You don't
Should
have
he
that
be?
kind of support.
Yeah,
I
right.
spoke
So
with
we-
the city judge too, and he,
Yeah.
So we need to take that whole section out?
Take that whole section out, like I said.
Okay.
Okay,
And then renumber.
Then renumber and then. So do we need to take out the host rehearings?
I'd recommend it,
taking it out,
yes.
okay.
I also ran that by the current city judge, and he was okay with that
Judge
as
Bassett
well.
said take it out?
Mhm.
Okay,
All right.
now we're to
5 and then 6.
civil service. Kenny said what, delete civil
That's
service?
6.
Just six.
Correct.
And I don't know that we're gonna,
You said just delete
No,
Article 12.
So if you wanna keep it, this whole section will have to be updated,
Okay,
and I can work with your attorney on getting that done and getting you a clean copy with those recommendations
Well, let's do
before
that.
you,
Okay.
we'll never get into it right now.
no,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to get into.
thank you.
It's really, like I said, a lot of it is just the procedure for appeal, the time, the deadlines in which they have to do things.
Well, it talks about how the board is made up, you know, you can
Right.
see it's,
So the burning question is, how long will this delay? Will we be ready to vote at the end of this month? Probably not, or what do you think on timeline for this?
I think it's a fairly straightforward rewrite.
Okay, okay.
good. Okay, so now are we to 13? Article 13,
yes.
it's the last 2 pages.
Everything 13 looks good.
Yeah. The last page.
Yeah.
Okay,
I heard
So it says-
excitement.
instead of board of commissioners, it says city council, that's good. Is everybody okay with taking out 2?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
and then adding, I guess you're adding 3, that kind of clears everything up and
Yes,
where it says he and she and all that.
gender neutral.
Yeah. Okay, so this will be,
So, but pending, we have the rewrite of civil service.
Yes,
You have the question about seat A and B on election.
yes,
Was there another, a question about the number of days?
30 days.
The 30 days,
is that in compliance with state law?
yeah.
Right,
On the distress warrants.
So that's the 3 questions that are still out.
right, so get you those answers, you can have discussion on that before you vote on the resolution to accept the charter.
And you were gonna send us the annotation to where we have to fire Chris.
Yes. And there was one other thing. I was
Nobody
gonna
looks
get
more
to.
excited than Chris.
Nothing with the utility board and splitting any of that stuff, we just left all that like
We just
this.
left it as, that's a discussion for
That's a
a
council
future
discussion.
day.
So Pete got up and left.
Yeah, Pino said the heck with this.
Can
Okay,
we
so-
ask for,
Motion.
we ask for
Hold on.
them to
Oh.
move that they accept all the changes as were discussed and please.
Would someone like to make
I'll make a motion.
make a
What?
motion?
What, to do what?
To accept the changes that we've made here. We're not gonna revisit any of the changes that have been
Yeah.
accepted here today. We have several open questions. Just
So we're accepting everything that we accepted.
right.
As presented today.
As
Okay.
presented.
That's your motion?
That is my motion.
You make
Well,
my,
wait a second on that now.
Yeah, that's why I make sure.
Yeah,
Cause we still want to.
motion to accept all the changes. There's still
With the
some questions.
exceptions.
Right. So the actual voting on what to send to Nashville is going to happen at your regular
Okay,
meeting.
gotcha.
This is for staff.
Yeah.
To,
Accept motions, accept what we've written, except for what we still need clarity on.
I'll second.
We're voting on the changes we've made.
The things that we've agreed to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll second, I'll
everything
second
that
it.
between everybody
Okay.
here.
With clarity that we're accepting everything that we addressed except for civil service,
Mhm.
election A and B, and 30 days, because those are the
What's
three
the, I don't have a
questions.
note on the 30 days. What's
It's
the?
on the distress form.
Distress form. So you've got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the three things that we're not accepting one way or the other until we get a rewrite on civil service, answered on A and B, and an answer on 30 days.
Is that-
And the goal is gonna be bring y'all those things,
Everything else
Before
is
the
done,
meeting.
we're not gonna go back and
We don't have
rewrite.
to revisit it again.
and we're gonna try to get you all that information before your meeting in 2 weeks to approve to get it to Lowell, so we don't have to wait till next year for the charge.
You good with that, Kenny, on a second?
I second.
Okay, but I mean, you're good with that explanation?
As long as the civil service.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the three,
We're not voting on the charter right now, we're voting on all that except those three.
We'll vote.
Changes.
that you like what has been
Yes,
discussed, et cetera.
yes.
When Kevin hit accept, that's what we're accepting,
Right.
Okay, any other questions?
other than his misspelling.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Thank you.
Okay.
One question, how often should we review this charter as a council? Is this something we should come back and do every other year, no?
Not, no, I mean, the charter, it requires general assembly action, so it's not something you're gonna do on a routine basis, but maybe every 10, 15 years, take a look at it, make sure you're still,
Cool.
one, you're following what you've got written,
Mhm.
because it's good to know what you've got in your charter. And when you see something comes up, maybe you know that state law has changed, then it would be appropriate to make that one change in your charter rather than a complete rewrite. Still gonna require general assembly approval, but if all you're doing is making your charter match what they've changed in state law, it should go very quickly.
We knew a lot of these need to be changed, we just kind of put it off. We try to do everything.
That's my private act, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is property.
And we try to just clean it up on time instead of piecemealing it.
I have one other question too. Is there any risk in making and requesting a charter update of this magnitude?
The risk is they say no.
Okay.
Um,
They can't take our private act away.
no, I don't, no.
Is there anything in the charter now that speaks to it's not talking about impact fees, it's talking about, the, council's ability to set charges and rates for things? Is your stuff already in there for that?
Yeah, I think you're
Fine.
good.
Okay.
So the General Assembly, they've got their own attorneys, they're also gonna look at it, if they have any problems with it, they'll get back to you and say, we're gonna tweak this. Sometimes they tweak it and don't tell you, so you need to make sure that when it comes back, that you review it and compare it to what you sent, that you know if there are changes, because they may or may not tell you.
So with that question, so it is required that if we're gonna do an impact fee, it's a change of charter?
It's a change of charter, and the state said if you don't already have it in there, you're not going to get it.
Okay. We seen that real quick.
Mhm.
Well, I'm just making sure that it does require a change of charter and able to do that.
You can't do that anymore. If you had it in there before, you could keep it, but if you didn't have it, you're not gonna be able to add it in, they're not gonna approve it.
And what requires that it's in there?
General Assembly said, if you've got it, you're kind of legacy
Grandfather
in.
or something.
Yeah, but I'm always confused when a private act charter has to go by state law and when it doesn't have to go by state law.
It always has gotta be in compliance with state law.
Because that was a question that came up last year on things. They said, oh, well, since you're private act, you don't have to follow state law on that, you follow your charter.
We've talked about what it would take to move from a private act charter to like a modified city manager charter.
Oh, okay.
And it's not possible.
You can, if you give up your private act charter, you can never get another private act charter. You are stuck with the
Yeah, well,
3
do
options
that.
or 4 options in general
Too
law.
risky.
So I would not recommend
But I was told at
giving
one
up.
time, since we're private act, we didn't have to abide what was under the state law when it came to different organizations. It was, since we're private, we're under our rules.
We can be more restrictive. than
You're
state
still gonna have to
law.
comply with the municipal purchasing law, still gonna have to comply with all these other aspects of the state law.
Right, but we don't follow the modified city manager
there are 3 charter types in state law, codified in Title VI in the very first 3 sections, and your charter, you don't follow those because those are specifically those general law charters, and you've got something separate. So you don't follow those, but everything else you do. Open records, open meetings, planning and zoning, you're still gonna have to comply with all of those provisions in state law.
Okay, we have a
Motion.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
You have something else, Chris?
No.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
And we will be, I'll be
4:12.
accompanying this over there this time. We didn't know last time.
Yeah, right,
We probably
yeah.
need to do that. When they're going to take action on it, I'll be sitting there.
Twisting arms, typing.
So yeah, if you wanna take the first shot at that civil service.
Typos.
Yeah.